to For the Record. I'm your host, Loudmouth Luke, and today we have our first guest of the series, guitarist of the Joplin, Missouri band Blueshell Bombshell, and my guitar teacher, Jay Blevins. How you doing today, Jay?
Great. Doing great.
Okay, so today we're looking at Linkin Park's sixth studio album, The Hunting Party. This is one of my personal faves from the band. Before we delve in, tell me what you think about Linkin Park as a whole.
I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, so Linkin Park is a very critical part of my journey as a music listener. Never been like the biggest fan of their style in general. I tend to like heavier music, but I do quite enjoy Linkin Park. They definitely are really, really important for the development of music as a whole.
Is this your first time listening to any of their albums in full?
No.
I'm assuming you've listened to like Hybrid Theory and Meteor when those came out?
Yeah.
So with Hunting Party, did you enjoy it?
I think overall I gave it like a 6 out of 10. Like, it was a good album. The good parts were really, really good. The first half I wasn't a fan of, like the first 5 songs or so, which we'll get into that. But outside of that first half, like I would overall give it like a 6 out of 10. I would have given it a 7 out of 10 if they had used Tom Morello appropriately.
Yeah, which we will definitely get into that. This album's very interesting because this comes after Minutes to Midnight, 1,000 Suns, and Living Things, which were all produced by Rick Rubin. This is the first album they did where they produced it by themselves. Well, it was mainly just Mike and their guitarist, Brad Delson. And it was a lot more of a return to their heavier sound in comparison to those 3 predecessors, with Minutes to Midnight acting a lot more as a alt-rock-ish sounding album in comparison to its first 2, and 1,000 Suns and Living Things being more electronic-based.
I didn't know they mixed it themselves. That's good. It was a great mix. Like, the mix was good the whole album.
Yeah, I like how raw it sounds. That's my favorite part, is because as much as I love those like first 3 albums, there is a lot of polish on them.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the really, really polished and compressed like kind of pop mix. I like those more raw, kind of dirty garage mixes better generally.
Yeah, and I think it works really well in a lot of places. But this album was originally going to be called Carnivores, but they felt like the name Hunting Party felt a lot more thematically appropriate. And in comparison to a lot of the writing process, they were going to a lot more of a pop rock sound. You can hear that in songs like New Divide or Burn It Down. And when Mike was writing this, he felt a lot more like he wanted to make something heavier, especially because he felt like a lot of rock music at the time was very underwhelming, or at least a lot of stuff that was getting popular was very underwhelming. And he took a lot of influence from a lot of 90s bands, which I can hear in a lot of places in some of these songs.
Yep, I can hear that.
And there's also a lot more guitar solos, which is really cool, because Linkin Park wasn't really known for that. From what I learned, Brad Delson, their guitarist, just felt like for a lot of the songs that they wrote, it just wasn't appropriate.
I have a lot of things to say about the guitar solos in this song, but their inclusion is appreciated. This album came out in 2014, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a bold statement that he didn't like where rock music was going in 2014, because that era right prior to 2014 is like the height of a lot of kind of counterculture type rock stuff. So like looking at bands like Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine and Avenged Sevenfold, like that area right before 2014 is like Avenged Sevenfold's heyday. Like that's right around when the rep died.
Yeah.
So it's like not like just before 2014, like 2010, you have the release of Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album. You have like Bullet for My Valentine releasing Scream Aim Fire in 2009. Trivium is back to back with Ascendancy and Crusade in 2006 and 2007. So like honestly, Death Magnetic was right around that time period. Like it was 2008, I think. So it's like right before 2014, rock music was trending in a really good direction. So I find it curious. I wonder why he would think that, because especially the heavier side that Linkin Park would be more familiar with, because like, you know, bands like Trivium is a band that's like Trivium's like a band that Linkin Park would a lot of times be classified with. So it's like, it's kind of curious to me that he didn't like the direction things were going, because from my estimation, there were a lot of really good albums that came out right around
Yeah, well, I think like more just a lot of stuff that was getting like radio play. Not really.
Sure.
So, you know, because of course you had a lot of your butt rocks, like your Nickelback, your Theory of a Dead Man. You know, Nickelback, but even worse.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you had a lot of the alternative and pop punky stuff that was very popular with a lot of people my age, like, you know, your All Time Lows and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So maybe that's what he was talking about, was he felt like there was a lack of heavy stuff in with a lot of the mainstream charts.
Yeah, I mean, Linkin Park that was one thing that Linkin Park was always good for throughout the aughts. Is Linkin Park made an excellent gateway band, like, because you would hear Linkin Park on the radio and you would like them, and then you would start listening to other music that maybe radio stations were afraid to play because it was too heavy.
Yeah.
So it's like Linkin Park is kind of the Nirvana of the metal scene. Like, Nirvana acted as the same thing for grunge. Like,
yeah.
Nirvana was the grunge band that was radio friendly enough to be on the radio. So then, like, you would listen to Nirvana and then you would go, oh, I want more of this, and then you would get into like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains,
right,
and some of the more risque types of music. So.
Yeah. And from my experience, Linkin Park was definitely a gateway band. Like, I almost used to strictly listen to rap, and Linkin Park was like my main exception. They were an introduction to heavier stuff because they had screaming, and a lot of it gave my parents a headache. But yeah, they honestly did help me get into a lot of bands. I found some other of their contemporaries through them, like Korn and Deftones, because they toured with them a lot.
Yep.
And in general, I got introduced to some of their other like side projects too, like Mike Shinoda's Fort Minor and then Chester Bennington's Dead by Sunrise, which were both great projects.
Yep.
And I have a lot of nostalgia tied to their work, and that's why I think I enjoy them as much as I do. And I think as a whole, their discography is pretty solid, even with some of the stylistic changes.
Linkin Park always sounds like Linkin Park. It's like they change a little bit, but they never really, like, in the best way possible, they always sound like Linkin Park. Like, they change a little bit, but they never really go too far away from, like, the sound that works for them. And, like, a lot of bands tend to do that.
Yeah.
It's like too many, like, you need to adapt and you need to, like, grow as musicians, but at the same time, some bands, like, right off the top of my head, like, I always think of Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Fall Out Boy just, like, radically shifts their sound, and it's not like now their new stuff, like, there's literally no indication of their early stuff on their new stuff.
I think also another thing Mike was talking about with the way a lot of rock was at the time is you heard a lot of heavier bands around this time toning down their sound, or like trying to make it more radio friendly.
Sure.
Like Avenged Sevenfold's Hail to the King, I think, is a major step down from a lot of their previous stuff.
Yeah, that's a normal that's kind of a normal way that's a normal thing that bands do. So Hail to the King is kind of interesting. Hail to the King is the first Avenged Sevenfold album that doesn't have the Rev on it, and the Rev was a huge part of their sound.
He was the drummer, right?
Yeah, he was a huge part of their sound. So
yeah.
It's like the reason Hail to the King is toned down is not necessarily because they were trying to get more radio play. Mm-hmm. They were toned down because they were missing basically their primary songwriter.
Right.
So it's like the band is not even the same band anymore.
Right. What's interesting about The Hunting Party is this was their first album since Hybrid Theory to not debut at number one. I mean, honestly, the competition is kind of mid. It was like a Lana Del Rey album and some like other one.
Sure.
But this came out in June of 2014, and it also features a couple notable guests, which we'll talk about in a bit. Mm-hmm. I think a couple of them are used pretty well, but most of them are used in a way that I feel like is very underwhelming.
I actually disagree. Like, I think Tom Morello was really the only one that was underwhelming. The rest of them I was pretty satisfied with.
So let's get to side A. We are going to the first track. This is The Hunting Party. The first track is Keys to the Kingdom. What did you think of this one?
Overall, it was fine. Like, it was a good high energy opener. So, couple of quick thoughts. Did not like the distortion effects on Chester's voice, especially in the intro.
Yeah, like what was up with that weird like electronica filter?
You have one of the most distinctive voices in music, like not even just rock music, but just music. You have one of the most distinctive singing voices, and you cover it up with a distortion effect. That's a very, very bad choice to make. Like, Chester's voice should be front and center. That's what draws people in. Like, people like me who are coming from the heavier side of music to listen to Linkin Park, it's like, I'm here for Chester. That's what I'm here for.
Right.
So it's like covering up a distinctive voice like that is just a bad decision most of the time. I really like the guitar riff in the beginning. The guitar riff at the beginning was very cool. Good high energy. I really like that. The post-bridge solo was pretty basic. I mean, you got this real high energy. I appreciate the inclusion of a solo, but you have
Right.
like this real high energy song with like this really cool high energy guitar riff, and then the solo is just kind of like a melody line. It almost kind of sounds like you are in Cannibal Corpse and you got Eric Clapton to play the solo. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like that's like like I don't think guitar solos should all just be shreddy nonsense, but this was a song where I felt like it needed it and it
Yes.
wasn't there.
It would have been interesting if they got like a pretpretty notable guitarist to do the solo on there.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I could understand not wanting this to be like feature central.
Sure, yeah, no,
But-
it's but the thing is like I know that the guitar player for Linkin Park knows how to shred because he does it later in the album. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, why wasn't he doing that in that song?
Right.
Because that song really felt like it needed it. Like as a guitar player, I definitely would have done that differently. Last kind of thought about this one is I love the in the last chorus they did the real campy trope from the 2000s where like you do like the normal chorus and then when you double, like when you do the second half of the chorus where it's like a repeat, you know, you like do like triplets in the rhythm.
Yeah.
It's like that's a real campy like 2000. Like don't get me wrong, I'm here for it. I love that.
Yeah.
But it just makes me giggle every time I hear it because every time I hear it I think of Sugar We're Going Down because that's like the feature of the last chorus is
Yeah.
Sugar We're Going Down, and then after they did it, it just became a thing and everybody kept doing it.
Right.
This might be the last recorded example of somebody doing it unironically.
My favorite part of the song, ironically, is Mike. I like the I love when Mike sings. For one, I think Mike has a great singing voice,
Yeah.
and
No,
I'm
he's
glad
great.
he because I don't know if you did you listen to Minutes to Midnight.
Probably.
Mike sang on a couple songs there, and my favorite part in some of their later work is when Mike and Chester harmonized. It always sounded really cool.
Yes, I do like Mike harmonizing with Chester 100%. Their voices work well together.
I like the line, where is it? Got a different method, but I still can bring the pain. I love his flow in the rap part. It's very like bouncy. Some people, I don't know if you know who this is, it reminds me of Childish Gambino in places. Or I played that song for a friend once. I was like, why does this sound like Childish Gambino?
I could hear that, yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's a good track for me. I think it's a really good way to start the album. I do think it's funny that you have that little kid who's like, I'm not allowed to say certain things. Which
So-
I'm assuming that's one of their kids.
So I had some thoughts about that. Like I was gonna wait to bring it up until later, but yeah, the unrelated soundbite thing at the end of songs on an album is one of my biggest pet peeves as a musician. I absolutely despise it when people do that.
Right.
And this album does it on like 75% of the songs.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they just keep doing it, and it's like they literally do it on War also. It's like it's not always like some goofy thing like that. Sometimes it's just like this completely unrelated instrumental thing, and you're just like, why? Like, why is this here?
Right.
Like, where it's almost like they had like an entire other 3 songs written, and they didn't have enough space on the album for 3 full songs, so they just pulled out the drum part they liked best and crammed it onto the
Yeah,
other songs.
I can see that. At times that can be a little jarring. And again, I think because I'm assuming that's one of their kids in that song.
Sure.
And
And
it's funny.
Yeah,
like-
it's fine if it happens like one time. Like that's why I didn't make a note of it on this song, is because I was just like, okay, you know, like whatever, that happens. But then like, man, like they just kept doing it, and it stopped being a joke at some point, you know?
Right.
Like,
But yeah, it's a good song in my opinion. It's actually one of my faves because I love how energetic it is. The next track is All for Nothing featuring Paige Hamilton of the band Helmet. Admittedly, I've never heard of Helmet. Are they any good?
oh, Helmet is great. So Helmet is one of those bands where it's like they don't really like the spotlight, especially Paige. So
Yeah.
they tend to like, you know, they have the one song that everybody knows, which is Unsung. So like everybody knows Unsung. If you don't know which song I'm talking about, it's the Your Contributions Left Unnoticed. It's like a real popular like 2000 song, but like I think early 2000, maybe late 90s. Anyway, so they're kind of like Paige Hamilton's kind of the driving force for Helmet. So this song, if you want to know what Helmet sounds like, this song just sounds like Helmet.
Yeah.
Like especially the chorus part. Like it's kind of like, I think what my exact wording on my note is chorus slaps even though the song is pretty basically Helmet in a nutshell.
Yeah. I found out while they were recording it, Mike was actually the one who was supposed to do the chorus, and then while they were recording it, they were like, this sounds a lot like Helmet, so they reached out to him.
That was, man, it sounds a lot like Helmet. Paige and Chester harmonizing in the chorus is the best part of that song. Like,
I really didn't notice that in the...
It's more of like a call and answer type thing.
Oh,
that's
what you're talking about. Okay.
But, like, it's not really like a vertical stack. It's more of like a call and answer thing.
Yeah.
But, like, man, I need more of that. Like,
yeah.
That's awesome because Paige has a great voice. Like, he has, like, a really, really powerful, like,
yeah.
great voice. So it's, like, serves as a great, like, foil for a guy like Chester because Chester's voice is like real kind of like, I mean, he's got that grit to it, but it's kind of like real flowy and like it's real natural sounding.
Right.
So like Paige sounds like he's got like some bass in it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like he serves as a great foil for Chester. So it's like I need more of that. Like I wish I had more Chester and Paige because that was like that chorus was awesome.
I kind of wish like he was more Chester was more featured on that main part. Which again, that's not to insinuate Paige didn't do a good job. He was great, and honestly, his part is one of my favorite parts. I really love Mike's verses on here. Again, I think no one really gives Mike the credit he deserves as a rapper because his stuff isn't really anything like super crazy, but he just has such a cool voice and the way he like delivers lines sometimes.
He's got a good flow. A couple of notes I had about this one. I literally wrote verbatim, "Is every guitar solo gonna put me to sleep?" Like it's literally just the vocal line from the chorus note for note.
Yeah.
So like I'm not like it's fine to take guitar solos and like just play like the vocal line. Like,
right.
I mean we talk about that in lessons, right?
Yeah.
So that's a very because you need to make a melody, but at the same time it's like you also got to do something with it. Like you got to kind of frame it. And it's like he just literally just plays it note for note the whole time, and it's like so after like the second repeat of him just playing the vocal line, I'm just kind of like, all right, come on, add something to it. It's like if you're just gonna play the vocal line, just let Paige and Chester sing it. It's like why are you doing that if you're just gonna play the same thing? So.
Yeah, I think it works here. I think it's a very I don't know. It's a part that scratches my brain every time I listen to it.
Sure.
My favorite part are always Mike's verses, especially in the second part where he's like, "And no, I'm not your soldier. I'm not taking any orders. I'm a 5-star general." That part is I'm always like, I'm doing like the white boy like head bob.
I don't know if that's what I would do to Linkin Park, but...
Well, I mean, they're one of my favorite bands, so that's probably why
sure.
But yeah, I like this song, so let's get to the next one. The next one is Guilty All the Same. This one used to be my favorite. Rakim. It's pronounced Rakim.
Whatever.
He's like a legendary, like, early old school rapper.
Yeah, so... I didn't know who he was, which kind of surprises me, because, like...
He's, like, really influential.
Yeah, but like it surprised me because it's not like I don't listen to rap. Like
right.
I know, like especially like '80s stuff. I know a lot of '80s rap. Like I listen to a lot of Cypress Hill, and I've listened to a lot of like going into the '90s. Like I listen to a lot of Tupac and I listen to a lot of NWA. Like so, I was really surprised I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how I missed him.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I mean, he was never like a really household name. He was just very known in a lot of like the street areas. Well, that sounded super white. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he laid the groundwork for a lot of people. He was one of the first people to do a lot of internal rhymes with his rhyme schemes, and you can hear that a lot in his verse on here.
Yeah, I looked up and listened to him a little bit because I was kind of curious because I was like, man, I don't know how I missed this guy because he. Like I said, he's right in that era of rap that I usually listen to. So
right.
I was a bit surprised I didn't know who he was, but he was fine. He wasn't a rapper that I would listen to.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't my style of rap that I like to listen to. So it's like it doesn't really surprise me. But a couple of things about this one: the guitar melody in the intro was sweet. Like,
yeah, that part is so awesome.
But man, the intro went on for so long.
Like, I honestly really like it. I love the build up it has, especially with that like piano part. Then it goes into the drums, and then
yeah, it's just like you could have cut everything in half, and like format wise, like you could have cut everything in half and made it like 8 measures instead of 16, and you still would have got the build up effect from an arrangement standpoint, but you would have been missing like the come on move it along feel that people like me get from it because like. It's like that's the biggest problem when you're listening to a lot of old school metal is like a lot of old school metal, it just like they'll just repeat the same riff for like 6 minutes.
Or like the intro is like twice as long as it should be. Like Holy Diver by Dio, there is no reason that intro should be that long.
Yeah, so it's like that. This intro, it's like it was better than that, but it had the same kind of vibe basically.
Yeah, I really like the outro too with the wah guitar. That part was really cool.
It was pretty good. So a couple of notes I wrote. The instrumentals were pretty basic overall. Like there wasn't a whole lot of crazy nonsense going on. Like later I was thinking about like vertical arrangements versus like the horizontal arrangement. So the horizontal arrangement, what I mean by that is like the format, like
right.
you know, like chorus, verse, etc., etc. Feels like on the first 3 songs they did really, really great, like breaking up the horizontal arrangement. So like the verse, chorus, bridge type thing is really cool, with a couple of exceptions here and there that I wasn't a fan of. But man, like something that I always listen for when I listen to Linkin Park has always been very great at like what we call the wall of sound, right? Which is that's the vertical arrangement. So that's like, you know, every voice is accounted for. Like, man, that song comes on and it just hits you like a ton of bricks, right? Because like every voice is covered. There's something happening in every octave. There's always tons of things happening. So it's like you got like 2 guitars doing things, and you got like a synth in there, and then there's like vocal harmonies, and like there's always like this. And like, man, like the first 3 songs, that was largely missing. Like there wasn't a whole lot of like, when we're tracking, we refer to it as fluff tracks, right?
Right.
It's like stuff that you just kind of put into the margins to fill space. Mm-hmm. Like there was a lot of space. Like it felt really stripped down. Yeah. And like I wasn't a fan of that, because like I said, when I listen to Linkin Park, man, like I'm expecting that huge wall of sound. And then like later in the album, it's there. Like the entire second half of the album has it. It's just the first 3 songs that it's missing in. And I was wondering about like when those songs were written versus the other songs.
I think Guilty All the Same was one of the first songs that they wrote.
That would make sense to me, because like it's just like, you know, like when you write a song, like the first song that you write for the album, in my experience, usually ends up being like kind of your simplest, because you're trying to feel around and feel out the sound you want on the album, and like so you're afraid to like put stuff in it, because like once you get it written and it's like the sound you want, you're afraid to like ruin it, is a good way to put it. So it's like when like in Blueshell's first album, like
Blueshell's is band for people who don't know.
So in Blueshell's first album, the song Chop Shop is like our most popular song. That was the first song we wrote for the album, and it is really basic. Like I hate playing that song live because it's so boring. Right. But I also struggled with trying to find things to put in vertically, because like it's like anything I put in there, it just felt like too much. Right. And I'm wondering if they encountered something similar with the first 3, because it like as a listener, it feels empty compared to what I'm expecting from Linkin Park. So.
Yeah. Then we get to the Summoning, which is an interlude, and it does its job fine. I do like how it's silent, then it goes like, brant. It has that like little guitar build up throughout the song.
Yeah, the jump scare.
Yeah. I wonder if that's like a prank they pulled on like one of the members who wasn't paying attention. Like, hey, Joe.
Man, like, God.
And I do love the build up into the next track, War. I freaking love War.
So the Summoning, I don't know why that track exists. I don't know why it's there. It feels like
it could have easily just been at the end of like Guilty All the Same, or the intro to War.
It feels like it would have been better served as spare parts to help the vertical arrangement of the first 3. Like that's what it feels like. Because
it would have been cool if that was what started it, and then it goes into Keys to the Kingdom.
So whenever I write songs, like I always end up because I write out everything like either on tablature or sheet music, and like I arrange it because I'm like classically trained in theory, so it's easier for me if I can see what I'm doing. So if I get it in front of me, right? So anyway, like I always have like this one song when I'm writing a whole bunch of songs that is like just spare parts for other songs. It's like, that's what that song felt like to me. Just like spare parts.
And it's like it does its job fine as being an interlude to the next song. And then we get to War. I love this song. It is so good. I love how punky the drums sound, and Chester's performance on it is great.
This song should have been the intro song on the album.
Yeah, because it does have that feel of like I'm hunting somebody down.
It's got the high energy. It's got the really high energy. It punches really hard, and somebody listens to the Ramones for sure.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it sounds faster than a lot of Ramones stuff.
Yeah, that's because Johnny Ramone only downpicked, so that you're kind of had a speed limit.
Yeah, unless you want to get like carpal tunnel or something.
He probably still had it anyway. I mean, if you see him play, like,
I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
by far my favorite.
Yeah.
Has once again vertical arrangement, has like a bunch of fluff stuff in it to like thicken it up. Like that's what I expect from this band.
Yeah. And I love the solo too at the end. It's very Kirk Hammett adjacent.
It's very shreddy. Like I said, I generally don't like shreddy solos, but I do have to say, like as I mentioned before, like this song is a song that needed it, and it's like it fits the song really well because that's the vibe of the song is like the old school kind of shreddy metal.
Yeah, I especially like that part in the first verse where it's like, no sacrifice, then it's silent for a second, then it goes like, wah! That part's awesome.
Yeah, I need more Chester.
Yeah.
More Chester always.
Then we get to Wastelands. What did you think of Wastelands?
The hook riff slaps.
Yeah, I like the intro riff. Reminds me a lot of Rage.
So I had this issue with the first couple where like the rap parts kind of killed the momentum of the song for me. It's like they would drop in, but it always felt like they were just kind of cramming them in. The rap part of this song is how it's supposed to be done. Like it fits the flow of the song. It just naturally moves right into it. Like it feels organic with the song. It's like the song doesn't hit a wall, so the rap part can start.
Yeah.
And it's like I love that. That's like once again, like this was my second favorite one probably on the album. And it's like, yeah, this song just sounds like a Linkin Park song.
Yeah, which it's funny Tom Morello is featured on a later song when he would have been perfect on here.
Yeah, this
because like I said, it reminds me a lot of Rage, like from the instrumentation standpoint.
Well, they had some really cool guitar sounds. Like I wanted to mention this, but they seem like Linkin Park seemed to do this thing where it's like you said with the Helmet guy, they just went and got him after they wrote a song that sounded like Helmet. That either happened multiple times, or they would get a guy in there and just start thinking about that band that he was from, because like they did it later with Tom Morello, where it's like you get Tom Morello and then they have like 2 or 3 things on the album that have a real Rage Against the Machine feel. You know, it's like they did the same thing with like System of a Down. Like there was a later song that had some real System of a Down sounding kind of stuff in it. It's like they clearly just had Morello on the brain.
Yeah, which again, especially that that's just a Rage riff, straight up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. The next one is Until It's Gone, which, interesting fact about this song, this was written for Transformers 4. Because remember, they had songs in the other movies.
Okay, yeah, this one, the vocal arrangement, the chorus was super cool, like the harmonies.
Yeah.
The melody instrumental hook was great. It had a really great, like real thick vertical arrangement. Like the drop in the bridge, I liked the synths. Like
it's probably the most like this probably could have fit on Minutes to Midnight, their third album.
This is the classic Linkin Park song, yeah, definitely. Unrelated soundbite at the end again. Why are they doing that?
Yeah, because why not? I guess it's like that's a weird thing that you point out, because it's like it doesn't really serve a thematic purpose.
No, it's just like a random dubstep soundbite at the end.
Or then like one of their kids, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
Weird.
Next one's another really good one. This is Rebellion, which features Darren from System of a Down. This is another good one, and I feel like Darren does a good job in here. I'm assuming he just played the bass on it.
No, he played the guitar for sure.
Yeah?
100% he played the guitar. Like, if you listen to that main riff is so System of a Down, it's painful.
Yeah. I think he should have done some vocals on here, too, because one of my favorite parts of System of a Down is a lot of their harmonies.
My question for you was, did he do the backup vocals in?
I was listening to it this morning, and I kind of heard him.
The verse, like, because it's really quiet. Like, it's pushed way too far back in the mix. Like, which this is kind of what happens when you have a band like do their own mix for the first time. Is like they oftentimes will have difficulties like pushing stuff too far back or pulling stuff too far forward. They pushed him too far back in the mix, but it sounds like him. I'm not sure it is, but it sounds like him. Chester screaming is therapy for my soul.
Yeah, no, that's honestly, that's one of the best parts of most Linkin Park songs is the breakdown.
Who sings at the end? Is that Mike?
Probably. Well, he does the verses too.
Okay, so man, he's in his chest voice the whole time, and he sounded like he was about to fall asleep because he was singing so low. It's like I would have liked him to push a little harder.
Yeah, which he does on a lot of like later stuff he works on.
Yeah, I know. That's the other thing is like I know he can do it, so it's like that had to have been a purposeful choice, but it's like this song would have. I felt like this song would have benefited a lot from just being raised like a half step.
Yeah, and it's like you can. I think it works in the in like some of the pre-choruses too, because that's like trying to build up to the chorus. And I think it does that job well. I think it's a very energetic track. And yeah, that breakdown when he's like, Rebellion! That part's freaking awesome.
One word chorus is always funny.
Yeah.
It's like that always makes me
Yeah, and I mean, I think it works pretty well.
Yeah, no, it works. It works great in a lot of songs that they do it in, but it always makes me laugh.
So next we got Mark the Graves. This is one I used to think was just kind of like alright, but I like it more and more on each listen, and a lot of it has to do with the instrumental, because it has that cool like, and then when Chester's singing it gets like really quiet, and then it builds back up. I love songs that do that.
The arrangement on this song from like a songwriting perspective is brilliant. Like the intro was fantastic, like the vertical part of it, like the fluff tracks. It's like, where was that in the first 3 songs, man? Like this. If the first 3 songs had the fluff done the same way this one was, I would love like this album to be like an 8 out of 10.
Right.
Couple things that I had about this. If you told me Paige Hamilton wrote the guitars for this song, I would believe it. Like this song sounds very Helmet.
Yeah.
The verbal counting during a full stop is one of my personal pet peeves as a musician. It's like if you're gonna hit a full stop where like all the instruments just cut out, and there's just nothing.
Yeah.
Just leave it empty. Don't have like a real quiet like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like we know that you don't have to count yourself back in the studio.
Right.
Like you're doing that on purpose as like a creative choice, and that's always the wrong creative choice. Just it loses like a full stop. The point of a full stop is to add like gravitas, and you completely pull all that out if you count during a full stop. Just don't do that. That's
right.
Completely defeats the point of doing it. Chester's vocals in the verse after that intro made me laugh really hard.
What was so funny about it?
Well, it's like the guitars in the intro, like real heavy, and then Chester comes in, he's like,
yeah,
like
that's true.
It's super funny.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it was bad. It just made me laugh because the intro was so heavy, and then Chester just comes in like a glorious angel in the verse.
Well, I mean,
like real clean under him.
I mean, for me, Chester always had like some of the most rage out of a lot of vocalists of his time.
Oh yeah. No,
if you listen to like Minutes to Midnight in particular, like Giving Up's that song where he does like the super long stream. And then you have Leave All the Rest, which is like a super quiet and chill song.
Yeah, that dude's a freaking monster, but it just cracked me up because like it's just like all this real heavy buildup, and then it just hits a wall.
Yeah.
And it goes like real clean in the rhythm section.
Yeah.
Chester just comes in like he comes in like an opera singer. It's great.
Yeah.
Like it's just great. Like
and
that
like,
was a great choice.
And like always for me, my favorite part of this song is the instrumentation. I think Brad and Rob's the drummer of Linkin Park. Apparently he was in the studio for like 8 hours a day, and like he got like really tired while recording, and I think you can tell on a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Because like some of the drum work on this album is crazy.
Yeah. No, he's like the drums on this album are great. They're too loud sometimes.
Yeah.
But the guitar work, like I said, it's like he does great guitar work. I just wish they had a lead player that was like actually a lead player.
Yeah.
Because like this band to me would take a step in my hierarchy of bands if they had like a real lead player. It's like it feels like they just don't really have like a soloist. Like this band is screaming for like a Kirk Hammett or like a Sin Gates, like maybe like a Michael Page. Somebody like that would have taken this band to the next level.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a good track. The next one, and I like Drawbar, which is the other interlude. It's the most disappointing song on the album. Because you feature Tom Morello, right? A guy who was featured in one of the most well-known rap rock bands of his time, if not ever. And he's featuring on a song by a band who is also one of the most well-known rap rock acts ever. And you just have him do an instrumental interlude. That annoys me to no end because there are several songs in here which I feel like he would have been perfect for.
And Tom Morello is like a chameleon. He can do anything.
Which, I mean, he does a good job on here.
He can, yeah, I mean, he does Tom Morello stuff, but it's like, Tom Morello's a freaking chameleon, man. Like, he fits in anywhere. He can do whatever. It's like Tom Morello can play acoustic. He can play with Chris Cornell. It's like he can slip in with Bruce Springsteen. Like, he can do anything. So it's like, this Drawbar doesn't irritate me just because, like, it's not great as a track, but, like, the piano's way too loud and the drums are way too loud. So it's like, not only do you have Tom Morello in there and he's only playing, like, 5 notes and doing some volume swells, but on top of that, you also buried him in the mix. So it's like, it almost feels like a dig at Tom Morello. Like, but, like, man, you got Tom Morello. Like, if you're not going to use him, I'll take him. Like, I got all kinds of things I can think of.
Yeah.
But, man, like, Tom Morello, that poor guy, like halfway through that, he had to have been bored out of his mind. He only played 5 notes.
Yeah, because I wonder what the studio process was for that. Because again, I mentioned Wastelands. I think he would have been perfect on that.
Yeah, whoever plays the piano, I assume it's Mike.
Yeah, it's Mike. He plays piano.
Mike did great with the piano outro and drawbar. I just wish that would have been anywhere else, because like that piano outro is very cool, but like it's just like after that, it didn't make me feel better about it.
Yeah.
Like it's it was an absolute waste.
It just intends to transition to the next song, which is Final Masquerade. This one used to be my favorite, and I still like it a lot, but it's not one I really go back to as much because that's one of the more chill tracks, which I don't have a problem with them. I think Linkin Park's made a lot of great chill songs.
Man, one of my notes in this song is that vibrato was really cool. Chester, will you join my band? like this song and. This song and going back to what was it, Wasteland, I think, or Mark the Graves, one of those two. This song just made me sad. It's like Chester's way too dang good. Don't hate me for this, Luke, but Chester is wasted in Linkin Park. He should have been the only vocalist in a band. Like he should have had a band all to himself where the man could just cook. Like he gets buried in Linkin Park and he's wasted. Like,
I don't fully agree with that because again, like there's a lot of songs where it's just him, and a lot of the songs are great.
Every song should have been just him. That's what I'm saying. Is like don't get me wrong. I like Linkin Park, and Mike Shinoda's great. But Chester's voice is so unique and he's so powerful. It's like.
Right.
Like having that guy in your corner and not using him at every available opportunity is always going to be a waste. You've got like a freaking Rolls Royce in the garage and you're driving like a freaking like Dodge Caliber. Like,
right.
What are you doing? Like, you literally have like the Rolls Royce of vocalists and you're putting in rap sections. It's always a waste.
Yeah, it's worth noting that when they were like first getting signed, several people were like, yo, maybe Mike should just stick to an instrument. And Chester was adamant that he was like, no, this is his band. He formed it. It's not fair for him to just, be put on the sideline when he's the main guy writing and stuff.
I would have killed for like an audio slave type situation where you had Chester go to a band.
Yeah.
Something like that happened. Real heavy musicians. Like that would have been great.
Yeah. Well, there was the Dead by Sunrise project, which that one's more like standard rock with some electronica elements.
Sure. It's like. But man, so like I said, don't hate me for this, but like Manchester's so wasted in Linkin Park. He should have been the main. Like I said, you got the Rolls Royce of vocalist in the garage, man. You gotta drive him around. Like it's sad. Chester's career should have been Chris Cornell, right? He should have been the 2000s Chris Cornell, and he wasn't because he was always getting buried in half of the album. Like if Chester had been more front and center in a band, Chester would be 10 times what he is, and that's kind of a bold statement because he's already one of the most distinctive and well-respected vocalists in rock music. But he would have been we would have been talking about him in GOAT territory if he was not buried in half of the songs. It's just it makes me a little disappointed. It very much feels like Nuno Betancourt in Extreme. Like Nuno Betancourt's one of the best guitar players on the planet, and the rest of his band is extremely underwhelming. And it's like it doesn't matter how good your guitar player is. It doesn't matter if you have like the incarnation of Eddie Van Halen. If the rest of your band is so trash that it makes it impossible to listen to a song.
Right.
That's kind of how Chester feels for me. Except Linkin Park's not trash though. It's like Linkin Park's great. It's just like. Man, I need more Chester.
Yeah. The last song is Line in the Sand. I love this one. This is, I think it does all the build-up stuff so well, and it just is such an awesome way to end the album.
I love the continuity from the outro to the previous song and the intro of this song.
Yeah.
I love it when albums have continuity between songs. Previously, the albums just kind of, I don't want to say they feel like they're just kind of in an arbitrary order because, there's clearly some kind of discussion that went into it, but it's these two songs back to back feel like they were meant to be back to back.
Right.
And that's the first, and I had to wait till the last two songs to really hear that. Got the vocal line in the intro was really cool. I'm assuming that's Mike.
That's Mike, yes.
Yeah, so that was very cool. Like, despite how much I love Chester, that might be my favorite vocal line on the album.
Yeah, I
like,
think a lot of the songs where Mike sings are very like slept on. Like there's one on Minutes to Midnight called In Between, which he does a great job at, and that's where like a lot of his more like chill voice works the best.
I love the old school kind of dark folk feel that vocal line has. Like, it very much feels like Mike listens to Ghost Riders in the Sky, you know? It's like he's got that very old school. I really like the classic Linkin Park riff. In the
I think if it was like tuned a little differently and mixed a little differently, that could have been on like Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, too many repeats. Cut it in half. The song will flow better. You know, it's like that. Like you're just padding for time at that point.
It's actually the longest song they ever wrote.
Yeah,
it's like 6 minutes.
They repeat so many times. Like, it would have been much better served if they cut it. Like, so in music production, right? Like, we always talk about how like the length of songs like has a big impact on how the song is received by like casual listeners, because to be frank, it's like most casual listeners only have a set amount of patience for a song. So it's like you got to get to the freaking point. Basically, like when you're looking at a song that's like 6 minutes long, it's like you got to look at like Master of Puppets, for example, is like 8 minutes and some change, I think.
Yeah.
So, but it has like 20 different riffs in it, right? Like it's like constantly moving, and there's like a whole bunch of moving parts. It's like padding a song with repeats is never a good decision. Like the golden time is like about 3.5 to 4.5 minutes is about the attention span you're gonna get from most casual listeners. So it's like you're basically having a song over about 4.5 minutes is usually saying like this isn't for casual listeners, and in that case it's like, man, you better damn well make sure it's for your fans in that case, because
I don't care how long a song is, as long as it keeps my interest in some way.
Right, yeah, exactly. But see, you're also like an avid listener of music. It's like we're talking like the majority of people who listen to music, it's like they're not going to listen to a song that's 6 minutes. Like they're going to get bored and move on. In this one, they kind of padded the intro a little bit, and I feel like if they had cut some of that padding out, the song would have been better. It would have flowed a lot better.
Yeah. I think it, like, for me, it just meshes everything that the album's trying to do in one song. And I think it works really well. Like, the guitar part, the and then Mike's rap part is really cool. It's very simplistic. It fits well. And it's a cool callback to the pre-chorus, because it's like, he's like, I'm building up to this, and it's like, okay, now we build up to this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm up in your face, and...
Man, there was like 3 or 4 things that I had about this song. Like, this song probably has the most notes that I had out of any of them. I love how they would change, like took the vocal line, did like a different rhythm section. That was cool. I always liked that. Chester in the chorus just kicking ass as he usually does.
Chester Bennington was like King Midas. I swear, almost everything he touched turned to gold.
That guy was just great. The rap part in the bridge was really organic, and I loved it. It very, very much made me think of Rage Against the Machine. The breakdown, I wasn't expecting that. Like, Caliban would be proud, man. Like, that breakdown was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The guitar solos and write a cool melody. The melodies he writes are really cool. He just never does anything with them. He just plays the melody. He just like writes like a melody, and then he just plays the melody over and over again, which is... It's fine, I guess, but like, you know, as a guitar player, like, I understand that as a guitar player, like, especially as a professional, like, man, I am real overly critical of guitars,
right?
And because that's what I'm listening to when I listen to the song. Like, the first thing I hear is guitars. Like, that's what I'm picking apart. So it's like, you know, it's like that, just kind of writing the melody and moving on. It's like that might be enough for like a casual listener. I don't know. I haven't been like a listener without being a guitar player in 20 years.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, for me with guitar work, because a lot of times, since that's my main instrument, I focus on that a lot.
Right.
But I'm like, is that riff cool? Does the solo do what it's trying to do? Because I've had this talk with a lot of people. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes you don't need to do anything crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Sometimes less is more, but sometimes it's also the opposite. It's like I said, he writes really, really cool melodies. Like, I love that guitar solo the first 2 times he plays it. But then after that, I'm like, all right, move it along. Do something with it, like anything. Because, like, he just plays it, and it's like a real simple melody. It's really cool. that as a guitar player, like as a soloist, that is the foundational part of a solo, but it's like he never gets past the foundational part. He writes the foundational part of the solo, but then he never adds anything to it. He just plays that.
Right.
And it's like man, it's like he built an entire house, but he put no furniture in it. It's like you have like the basic principle, and the basic principle is great. It's like, man, like I own this like $10 million mansion, but there's no furniture in it. Like
right.
I have a pool and it has no water in it. Like
yeah,
it's like there's just something missing. It's like, but once again, like I understand that my perception is skewed as like a classically trained guitar player, especially like as a recording guitar player. It's like I understand my perception skewed. It's like it's hard for me to separate the, man, this is boring because he's not doing enough, or this isn't how I would have done it, so I don't like it. Right? Like it's hard for me to separate those two things. So, you know, it's my opinion. Like it's very subjective, but it's just from my perspective. It's like I wish he did more with the guitars. I love the drop in the outro to revisit the intro.
Yeah, that was my favorite part, and I think to an extent it does kind of loop back to the first song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was pretty great. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times Mike never really gets credit as a songwriter, because I think he's a phenomenal songwriter.
Yeah, he's a great songwriter. Like I said, the vertical arrangements that happen in Linkin Park, like outside of the first 3 songs, it's like the vertical arrangements in this album are fantastic. Like that's a guy who understands how music works. Like that's a guy who understands how to fill voices, and like that you like we always try to not leave empty space, because it's like as a listener, whether you realize it or not, it's like you can hear that empty space, you know. So it's like, and it turns you off of songs. It's like thinking about bands like the Cranberries, who are always putting in like little, you know, violin parts and like little piano parts and stuff. Mike is great at that. Like that's like Linkin Park as a band vertically is fantastic. I love it. And then the format's always fantastic. Like they always do a really good job with the format also. So
yeah,
like no, they're great songwriters, definitely. Mike is fantastic. Like he's really the creative force, I think.
So that was the Hunting Party. As a whole, what did you think?
I said it's about a 6 out of 10. Like, and that's like I'm pretty harsh normally. Like a 10 out of 10 is like maybe one album ever made. So, but it's a great album. If they had done more with Tom Morello, I would have liked it. Like I really like the second half. Like if the album started at track 5, I would like it better.
Yeah.
Like the first 4 songs just kind of feel they're just kind of meh. But like there's a couple that I really, really like. There's probably 2 or 3 songs that would go on my rotation.
For me, how raw it is in some cases really good, and in other cases not so much, because I do like how it's not too much, and I think like because from their last 3 albums, which I all love, because Rick Rubin's involved, you can tell they're very polished.
Yeah, I have a whole. I'm not going to get into my deal with Rick Rubin, but I have an intense dislike for Rick Rubin as a producer. So I definitely like this type of mix better, even if it's like it's pretty. I don't want to say amateurish in terms of like how they set levels sometimes.
Right.
Like that's not the right connotation, but it's like clearly they were kind of figuring out how it works as they go. Like, because that's how production really works. Is like you think you understand it, and then you get into the actual DAW and start moving parts around, and suddenly you realize that you don't understand jack squat. You're just kind of learning as you go. So it's like it's very much like, especially mixing and mastering is very much a learn as you go type thing. So it's like it doesn't surprise me that this is their first. Yeah. That this is the first time that they did that. Like that doesn't surprise me. They did a really great job for the first time doing it. Yeah. That's a difficult thing to do, because like I said, you think you know how it works. You can stand next to Rick Rubin and watch him do it 10 million times, but when you're actually sitting there at the DAW, it's just like. As Mike Tyson said, like everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, right? Yeah. Like that's what it's like, man. Like once you're actually sitting there, like nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, and I think for me, again, the rawness works in a lot of places, but sometimes I do think a couple like parts of tracks could used a little more polish, or some instruments could have been a little more emphasized. Because as you said, the drums can be really loud at times.
Yeah, this album has a rock mix on it. Rick Rubin does not do rock mixes. Rick Rubin does like radio pop mixes. So like the mix is a rock mix. Like this is what rock is supposed to sound like. It's supposed to have that kind of raw edge to it. Really the only problem I have with the mix is that the levels are kind of off in places.
Yeah.
Like, you know, backup vocals are pushed too far back, drums are too far forward. It's like but that's fine. It's like I said, that's well within like what you're expecting from somebody who would do that, who's mixing the first time. It's like that's not bad. Like everything else about the mix in terms of like how they utilized effects, like how they were utilizing reverb and delay, like how they kind of fit the parts together. Like I'm trying not to get too technical, but like how they're trying to fit the parts together. It's really well done other than just like the levels occasionally. That's really the only problem I have with it. Like I said, the raw sound is kind of normal for rock.
Yeah, and for me, I think this is some of Mike's like best performances on any of their albums. Even like Hybrid Theory and Meteora, which I think are objectively better than this album. I think he does such a good job. It has some of my favorite lines. It has some of his best like delivery and flow as a rapper.
Yeah.
A lot of his melodic parts are really cool.
Yeah.
And of course, Chester Bennington is great as always.
You know, I mentioned that like Chester kind of feels wasted in Linkin Park. Honestly, Mike kind of feels wasted too. Like he should have been the lead. He should have had his own band also. Yeah. Like, cause like Mike is like all those parts that like, cause what you hear from Mike, like he could carry it by himself. Like he doesn't really need Chester to be carrying like a lot of the chorus parts. Like he doesn't need him. So it's like, yeah, it's one of the biggest what ifs in music is like, what if Mike and Chester weren't both trying to be vocalists? Really? Yeah, which I think it fits the songs well because I think they bounce off each other incredibly well. Yeah, their voices work well together and it gives them a unique edge. But it's like, it almost feels like Linkin Park should have been a super group. You know, like. Because like that's the kind of stuff you hear in a super group, you know, thinking about like Temple of the Dog with Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder. It's like if Temple of the Dog was the main group that Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder were in, I would be saying the same thing about that. You know, it's like Chester needed his Pearl Jam, you know, like and Mike needs his Soundgarden. Like they need their own things because like. I haven't listened to their like side projects. I'll listen to their side projects. Yeah, to recommend some, Fort Minor, that was the one that had the song that was like, this is 10% luck, 20%. Yeah, I know that one. That project's pretty good. I like his project he released in 2018, which was kind of like a diary because it came out like a year after Chester died and, you know, Linkin Park went on hiatus. It's a really good project that goes into his psyche a lot and it's all produced by him and he does a great job on it. Chester had Dead by Sunrise, and he was also briefly in Stone Temple Pilots, and they released an EP together. Yeah, he was in Stone Temple Pilots for a second. For me, Hunting Party's a heavy 8, light 9. I think it's a great album. It's very fun to listen to for me. And this is probably my favorite behind Hybrid Theory and Meteora. I think it's nowhere near as dated as those first two albums are. Yeah, my last kind of closing thought with Hunting Party is thematically something that kind of irks me a little bit is like it doesn't really feel like the instrumentals overall match the lyrics. It doesn't feel like the lyrics were written specifically for the song sometimes. So like a good example would be like Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Mm-hmm. Like Black Hole Sun is about like the cycle of depression, and so the chord progression is cyclical in the way it's written in order to reflect thematically the song's lyrics, right? So like, and that's not like abnormal. Like a lot of bands don't take that extra step because to be honest with you, that puts a lot of work onto you to do that. So it's really difficult to do it, especially consistently across an album. But it's like, that's what would make this album like an 8 for me, is if it was like the lyrics were like a little bit more thematically like tied to the songs. Yeah. Like I feel like there's songs where it's like you could like keep the vocal lines the same and swap the lyrics, and like the first song in War. Like I feel like the lyrics could be swapped in those two songs and it wouldn't hurt either song. Right. You know? Thank you for being on the episode, Jay. This was a very fun first experience for a guest. That wraps up our first episode of For the Record, and tune in next week. I'll see you guys around and I hope you have a great night.